getting that kind of narrative tone, no camera cuts, like getting all that stuff up and running, especially as well with like a buddy AI with the son, having him lead the way properly, having him kind of move correctly, and I mean, the vision was so clear, but it was also pretty ambitious. And at that time, we didn't really have a lot of that.
It was fucking bad. It was just a mess, right? It was like 12 different ideas, you know, all at once. It was too much, and nobody was really sort of giving an inch.
Okay, well, now what does that mean? Well, that means you go back to the drawing table and you do it again. And, you know, we've had even, I think, a shoe visit a little while ago in March where the second he left the room, I was like, that was not good. There's something that in his facial expression that is telling us there's an issue here. And then, you know, Sharon calls a little while later and says, "Issue had some note."
He was not happy, but I don't think I read exactly how unhappy he was. I was not very perceptive on that one. And it was Harlow who ran into him, and Shuhei starts telling him, I was horrified how bad
was not all positive, right? And so what does this mean? What does this mean? And we gotta solve this problem, like we do every single day.
This is a really big guy in Sony, and he did not have a very good experience. And I still was under the impression it was not a very good experience, not horrified. Horrified how bad it was. I think that he probably walked out of that room that first time going like, what the hell did we do? We just gave this guy a lot of money to make this game. Did we make a mistake?
Run far away from me.
But you have changed. You're not a monster.
The hunt for Kratos was very difficult. We were probably a month away from giving up. We were like that close where everybody started having this pull me aside conversation. And you start thinking about the reality of this. Like maybe this is not gonna happen. Maybe you're not gonna find the perfect person.
My agent had called me and I wasn't really sold on auditioning for it. I know it sounds silly now. She's like, look, just read it. Just read the sides. And I read the sides. And I called my agent back and I said, I thought you said this was a video game.
You have seen what I am. And when you lose control, when the rage takes you, that is me in your blood, eating away at any goodness your mother may have passed on to you.
It was literally like the test you do for a TV series or movie.
Run far away from me.
But you have changed. You're not a monster.
That's exactly what I am.
Not to me.
And it just, I couldn't wrap my head around how this would be in a video game.
Come on, Slowpoke.
This is not me leading.
Excellent. Very good. Right from the get-go, you can see him and Sonny had a really good chemistry. And, you know, he's huge. Ultra violence and sexism, that's God of War. Why aren't we doing that, right? People will say, Kratos can't grow. He's just this like anti-hero who just kills things and bathes in their blood. And I'm like, you need to see a therapist. But I think it was a necessity.
If I had my own instrument, it's probably the accordion, because it's weird. And most people think it's lame, but I think it's cool.
Hey man, how's it going? How you doing?
I remember meeting Corey, and he told me the story of the game. I think we were there for like an hour and a half. And I felt like I was sitting around a campfire. Like I wanted to just like roast marshmallows and just like, and then what happened? It's the story that draws me musically. That's where I get ideas. And I realized like this game has a really well thought out story and character arc. And I just thought I have to be involved in this.
What is God of War? Is Kratos the mascot, or is Greek mythology the mascot? I was talking to several people from the European marketing groups, because I think what they saw is like, oh, you're just gonna make another God of War with angry Kratos, right? And they're like, that's just not a good idea. And I talked about, you know, potentially exploring other mythologies. And one of the guys had said, you know, I just don't understand how that would work. You know, what is Kratos gonna pop on a backpack and just walk to Scandinavia? You know, that just seems weird. And I was like, oh, right at that time I realized, like, I was like, oh, well, he doesn't have a backpack, but yeah. Hello. Okay, wow, there we go. So they're gonna go out in the beginning of the game and fulfill the sort of dying wish of the mother. The mother wanted her ashes. She wanted to be burned and her ashes to be spread on the highest peak in all the realms. So that's kind of the driving force throughout the entire story, is that they are taking her ashes and heading to the highest peak. The overall theme of this is that the kid is going to teach Kratos how to be a human. Kratos is going to teach the kid how to be a god, right? Each of them has a piece of them missing, and they kind of help each other out on this buddy road trip movie.
We are in the middle of nowhere right now. And we hear a hissing. There's the culprit. So, another adventure.
Yeah, it was interesting, a cross-section of people too, because it was, we sent programmers, artists, Shannon, I think, went as well.
It's a panorama? You're doing a film.
This is serious. I'm documenting.
You're documenting?
Ready, guys? We're getting ready. This is where it all begins. Cue the soundtrack. Well, we made it to New York so far. We're halfway there. You can see the people were much smaller back then. Luke would have been a giant compared to them. That's the way we dress when going to Reykjavik. Smartly.
Great.
Nordic thunder. Dun, 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 dun. I'm gonna get run over.